Okay. All right. So we have plenty of time now. All right. I thought 5 o'clock, and normally I always come early. We had a regional conference. So
3 we will start, sir.
let me know whenever you want to start.
Yes, sir. We will start soon, sir. I think Dr. Pritam, you have joined. Now you can formally start the webinar.
Should we start now or should we wait for 2 more minutes?
2 minutes is there.
Saying, what is 2 more minutes? I don't understand. What is the schedule?
So, we'll start
From
from
5
5.
we are
Hey, what is the schedule? Is it 5:10, 5:15, 5? If
So
it is 5, we should start at 5.
5, sir. 5.
I have
starting at
cancelled,
exactly 5.
kindly try to realize, I have cancelled one of my previous meetings, which was pre-scheduled, to join here in time. And I'm sitting here 15 minutes. Now, if your meeting is at 5, start at 5. If your meeting is at 5.
Hello, I am
start at
Dr. Prosenjit
5:10.
Pavnik, the panelist member of this webinar.
I couldn't get you.
So we are starting at 5 only, sir.
No. The point is when it was scheduled to start.
The 5.
If
So
it is
5.
5, it is 5. Why it is 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
No, so it was 4 minutes 58. 4:58.
You say, I don't understand all this. If it is to start at 5, we should start at 5. Okay? And if it is start at,
Yes,
Dr. Mitra said 5:10. If it is 5:10, start at 5:10. Let me know.
So, a very good evening and warm welcome to our Honorable Chancellor, Sir Professor Dr. Gautam Roy Choudhury, our beloved Co-Chancellor Ma'am, Professor Dr. Manushi Roy Choudhury, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir Professor Dr. Gautam Sengupta, the CEOs, the directors, and deans of Techno India University, West Bengal, the other eminent dignitaries, invited speakers, panelists, my dear colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen, present today for the webinar on Startup Opportunities in Aquaculture, organized by Techno India University, West Bengal, in association with Institutions Innovations Council. We hope to take you all through a 6-day-long scientific journey that will not only engage you with scientific and academic discussions, but also provide and motivate you with valuable, thought-provoking insights and scopes or opportunities pertaining to entrepreneurship, skill development for various startups in the aquaculture sector. This course on startup opportunities in aquaculture will be conducted for 6 days, starting from today, that is 3rd to 5th, and from 7th to 9th, for a duration of 1 hour every day. I am Dr. Pritam Mukherjee, research scientist, Department of Oceanography, Techno India University, West Bengal, and I will be your host and moderator for this webinar. It is my pleasure and great honor to be amongst this august gathering. And it is noteworthy to mention that we have gotten an overwhelming response of more than 600 participants who have registered themselves from different parts of the nation for this webinar. So without any further delay, I would like to request Mr. Pavel Biswas, research scholar, Department of Oceanography of this institute, to set the tone of the inaugural session by playing Saraswati Mantra, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom. So over to you, Pavel. Pavel, I think the audio is missing. Mr. Pavel?
Hello? Yes?
Yes, we can't hear the audio.
Okay, only video. Okay. Just a minute.
Can you just replay again? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Now it's okay?
We can't hear it. I can't hear it.
Okay. Is it audible? Right now, is it audible?
It's not audible, Pavel.
Okay. There is some technical issue. I just short it out, okay? Is it audible right now?
No, I think no.
Okay.
I think we can reschedule it afterwards.
Yeah,
So,
maybe we
we'll
can
Okay.
continue with
afterwards.
sir.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we will have it afterwards. I think there is a technical glitch at Pavel's end. It's
Okay.
okay. So now I would like to call upon our very own and beloved Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, who needs no introduction, to deliver the welcome address and the inaugural speech. So over to you, sir.
Good evening. Are you able to hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
yes,
I
sir.
welcome the participants of this webinar on startup opportunities in aquaculture and compliment the university and the institution's Innovation Council to have organized this webinar on such a contemporary, relevant, and most innovative subject. If we look back, the mid-20th century witnessed a phenomenal breakthrough in agricultural technologies that saved billions of people from starvation. The mid-21st century may be characterized by a similar breakthrough, not on land, but in sea, through advances in aquaculture technologies that will feed our growing population. As you know, the ocean covers more than 70% of the planet, generates at least half of the oxygen in the atmosphere, and stores about 40% of CO2 we emit. It is also the world's largest source of protein, providing a primary source of animal protein to 3 out of every 7 people. In the past years, demand for fish has bounced with consumption per capita increasing nearly twofold. Aquaculture is one of the fastest growing forms of food production in the world and fastest growing sector in the livestock industry. In a 140 billion market, startups in seafood and aquaculture technology raised almost $193 million in 2016, which marked a 270% increase from the prior year's 2 years combined. The latest group of innovations in agri-technology could very well come from the water as something we could call aquatic. The need for aquatic in aquaculture has sparked investment opportunities in companies geared toward solving some of the industry's biggest problems. The demand for aquaculture products is increasing, but our consumers are also becoming more and more aware. They're demanding sustainability not just at farm level, but across the value chain. Tremendous opportunity exists right now for those interested in investing in the solutions to these issues. Yet, there are many areas in this industry that are in dire need of innovation. According to myself, the top 5 areas where sustainable and meaningful innovation can be included are disease prevention, vaccine delivery, fish meal replacement, sustainability solutions, including closed loop farming, which we are all aware of, and very effective and efficient proactive supply chain management. Facing threats of overfishing, ocean warming, and toxic waters, aquaculture farmers are looking to increase economic, environmental, and social sustainability. Incorporating water quality control, conservation, the efficient use of fish meal, and responsible sourcing behaviors are all part of that equation. Blockchain is a digital record of transactions that publicly accessible and incorporatable by any single entity. Blockchain first made its name in digital currency transaction processing, but there are signs it could be used exchange information about a fish's origin, history, harvest, processing, delivery, producing a transparent and verifiable origin of each singular aquaculture product. If blockchain becomes pervasive, it could change the entire infrastructure of the fishery supply chain, adding the transparency and accountability necessary for sustainable practices. Now let me turn to the issue of startups in aquaculture. Aquaculture is the process of raising aquatic organisms commercially in a controlled or semi-controlled environment to increase productivity. The first thing one needs to consider when starting a fish farm is the type of fish that you are going to use for farming. Selecting the right species of fish plays an important role in the success of the aquaculture business. Business planning and feasibility analysis are important things to be done starting an aquaculture business. Also, one should do deep market research before starting aquaculture business. It is also important to have some skills when starting an aquaculture business. The aquaculture business includes two types of capital investment, as you all know. Those are fixed capital costs and operating costs. Fixed capital cost includes crafting ponds, land and building, plumbing arrangements, vehicles for transport, oxygen meters, several tanks, etc., etc. Operating cost includes buying various elements like fish eggs, electricity, fish feed, labor, fuel, medicine, chemical, insurance, tax, telephone, transportation, and other maintenance costs involved. When you plan for startup, you should prepare a detailed cost calculation of the aquaculture project before entering into such business. Some factors need to be considered when selecting land. It includes soil quality, size, and source of water. A place that is big enough should be selected. Also, future plans of the startup should be considered so that size does not limit expanding the business. Procurement of proper equipment needed for aquaculture should also be part of the startup milestones. India's aquaculture industry is well poised to meet the global demand and to do so sustainably. We have the opportunity to strengthen our market position through becoming world leader in every stage of production. That global goal builds off a pathway that looks to maximize the performance and value of the existing inshore farm footprint and to enable the industry to extend farming into the open ocean and into modern land-based facilities. This goal might sound ambitious, but we believe that this is an achievable goal that we can reach by working together to support a productive, sustainable, resilient, and inclusive aquaculture industry. Achieving this means building on our successes and embracing new opportunities. Greater productivity will be driven by research and innovation, but through maximizing the value from existing farming space and exploring opportunities for new farming on land and in open ocean. Aquaculture is a primary industry leading in environmentally sustainable, proactive steps across the value chain. Aquaculture startups have moved into a role to play in shaping India's aquaculture industry of the future through innovative measures, embracing technological advances, and committing themselves toward a holistic blue economy environment in future, particular. So, as you see, this is nothing but, in a larger sense, a subset of blue economy. A revolution in aquaculture truly is on the horizon, and it's time to be part of that exciting change. Much of research and scholarly publications have happened in this area. However, we are yet to see many sustainable, successful startup ventures. The need of the hour is to set up startups based on scientific, scalable business models, which I keep on saying in every forum where I get invited to speak. Because now we are at a crossroad when we need hundreds of startup projects to come up and to be successful, not on a piece of paper, but in actual reality, and not on small scale anymore. Every startup project should have a picture or a roadmap for scaling up. And that's why I said that you have to look at a brighter picture, a larger picture, a global picture. And blue economy is now knocking at the door. And blue economy, according to me, is the whole set. And we need to create the subsets where we have a holistic view of the entire situation. So as I said, the need of the hour is to set up startups based on scientific scalable business models with prior analysis of business economics, such as internal rate of return, analysis of cost of risk mitigation, etc. And more you do it properly, more is the chance that you are successful. Our university is a combination of all this knowledge. Is a is a depository of all this knowledge. We can create a business model. We have all the technology knowledges with us, and under the leadership of Dr. Abhijit MItra, who will be giving a direction for blue economy and the related areas. I'm sure that this department will grow from step to step and reach its global level. With these words, I close my speech and I look forward to a wonderful webinar ahead. And I once again welcome all the participants and congratulate the organizers for this marvelous initiative. But I will be very happy when I see not one, I repeat, not one, hundreds of startups. And not the startups which become sick in a year or so, but the startups which grow and becomes global. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for motivating us with your words of wisdom. Thank you so much. So, as we have seen that due to a technical glitch, we could not hear the Saraswati Mantra. So I would now request one of the panel member, Dr. Prashanjit Pramanik, research scientist, Department of Oceanography of this institute, to kindly play the video, the Saraswati Mantra. Over to you, Prashanjit.
Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible. We just play the audio.
Okay.
Can you make the sound louder, Prashanjit?
শোনা যাচ্ছে? গানটা চালিয়ে দিই, গানটা চালাই শোনা I think we can go for the next program.
Yeah.
The Saraswati Mantra is over.
Okay. So we hope that these powerful words and wonderful tune will rekindle positive energy among us and will help make this webinar a grand success. Now it's time for the keynote speech, the highlight of today's webinar. I would now like to invite eminent scientist, author, and academician, Professor Dr. Abhijit MItra, Director Research, Techno India University, West Bengal, to deliver the keynote address. The topic of his talk is Overview of Eco-Friendly Aquaculture. Professor Dr. Mitra, former head, Department of Marine Science, University of Calcutta, India, has been active in the sphere of oceanography and climate science since 1985. He has obtained his PhD as a NET qualified scholar in the year 1994 after securing gold medal in MSc from University of Calcutta. He has to his credit about 598 scientific publications in various national and international journals and 46 postgraduate level books to his credit. Dr. Mitra is presently the member of several committees like PACON International, IUCN, SIOS, etc., and has successfully completed about 19 projects on coastal pollution, alternative livelihood, climate change, and carbon sequestration. Dr. Mitra visited as invited speaker in several foreign universities of Singapore, Kenya, Oman, and USA. He also served as a visiting faculty at University of Massachusetts, Boston, USA. Presently, his domain of expertise includes environmental science, mangrove ecology, sustainable aquaculture, alternative livelihood, natural resource management, blue economy, climate change, and carbon sequestration. Dr. Mitra also served as ecological consultant of Tata Steel and several government organizations in the domain of biodiversity assessment and pollution control. So, how fortunate I am and how fortunate you are to have with us Professor Dr. Abhijit Mitra. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me and introducing me to all the participants. I'd like to start with my regards and respect to Honorable Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gautam Rai Chaudhuri, Co-Chancellor, Manushi Rai Chaudhuri, Professor Manushi Rai Chaudhuri, and my regards to our very close and who is a pyramid of knowledge, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gautam Sengupta, who has taken a lot of time to be with us and spent his valuable time and showed us how the aquaculture can be a source of livelihood and how it can be tagged with the blue economy of the country, which is going to be one of the emerging folio with lots of job opportunities in the sector of blue economy, particularly aquaculture. Now, to start the topics of aquaculture, I must tell, because since it is a heterogeneous group, I think students from commerce, arts, science are all there with engineering backgrounds. So I must start in a very basic way as a keynote speaker. What is aquaculture? Aqua means the water, the aquatic ecosystem, and culture means the farming. So if you are going to do any farming in any aquatic system, whether it is aquarium fishes you are doing, that also comes under aquaculture. It has a very broad dimension, a very broad domain. Starting aquaculture does not mean the culture of the fish, the culture of the prawns. Rather, it includes the culture of different types of seaweeds. It includes the culture of phytoplankton. It includes the culture of pearl oyster. It includes the culture of the oysters. It has got a very big domain. So there are a lot of job opportunities in aquacultural sector. Recently, the biofloc has come, the RAS has come, where the entire system is recirculated with a zero waste emission, and this has got a very good impact on the people and the livelihood and also on the job opportunity. rightly, our Vice Chancellor sir has pointed regarding the startup program. In the startup program, we can think about the fish feed on which there are so many expertise. We are aware of the traditional fish feed. We know that just like the human being, the aquaculture organisms, the fishes, the seaweeds, the phytoplankton, the oysters, all require the feed for their nutrition, for their growth, for their survival, and to fight against the diseases. So far, we are there. The innovation is that if you see the fish feed, they are of the different nature. Some of the fish feed are in the form of a dust given to a very juveniles. Some is of 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 4 millimeter. It looks like this. It looks like this. These are the fish feed. You can see from here. It looks like this. These are the dust. These are the different dust of fish feeds. You can see. But the entire thing is that we have come to a different innovation from the Techno India University. Instead of the solid fish feed, we have used the organic juice made up of wheatgrass, which is rich in protein, rich in antioxidant, and rich in several minerals, which is helping the aquacultural species to fight against the diseases. So there lies the cutting edge researches, there lies the significance, and here lies the blue economy, where you have to deviate from the normal route and find something new, eco-friendly, and also ecologically very sound. So these are some of the things which I'll be describing today in a very short scale of time. And may I request the host to allow for sharing me the screen. Thank you very much. Is it visible? Is it visible to everybody?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay. So, first of all, in the very beginning, I would like to tell that Abhijit et al. Present. It's not my own work. It is the collection of work of different scientists who are present here, just like Dr. Prita Mukherjee, who is one of the hosts, then Dr. Prashanjit Pramanik, Dr. Namonita Pal, Dr. Arpita Shaha, Mr. Pavel Bishwas, and various others whom I could not name now, but it is the joint work of all. So I'm starting with the title, Abhijit et al. Presents the Eco-Friendly Aquaculture. Now, most of our case studies, which I'm going to point today, is based on Sundarbans, which is basically located in the lower Gangetic Delta, just at the apex of the Bay of Bengal. It is a place where in the whole world, Indians are lucky to get a symbiotic relationship where the mangroves are cooperating with the tiger. It's a wonderful, unique part of the globe where the tigers and the halophytes, the salt-loving plants, stay side by side symbiotically. It is a place where you get a frequent natural disaster in the form of Ayla, Bulbul, and Amphan, which ranges from 100 km per hour to 180 km per hour. The natural disaster which hits this part of the Bay of Bengal, which hits this part of the Indian subcontinent. And here, because of the presence of 83% water bodies, aquaculture is the main livelihood and occupations. Now, why I have told this as a symbiotic relationship? All these are the mangroves you can see over here. They are salt tolerant with various peculiar features like the presence of pneumatophores, presence of stilt roots, presence of supporting root system, which prevents them to fight against the natural disaster. When they degrade, when they decompose, they come to the water bodies. But their decomposition gives rise to another types of new varieties of life, that is the phytoplankton. Because after the process of the decomposition, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, all these minerals charge the water body, fertilizes the water body, and they help in the growth of phytoplankton, the tiny microscopic floral particles on which the fish depends. So there is a very good correlation between the mangroves and the aquacultural species. If you see the color of the water here, the color of the water is green in color. Nobody has put tint over here and nobody has given green color over here. The color is green because of the presence of the phytoplankton. The green pigment, chlorophyll present in the phytoplankton imparts green color to the aquatic phase. And that's why the color is green. If you look from the satellite, this color has been given a false color by the satellite imageries in the science of the remote sensing. It appears red when you see a satellite map. This is the picture, as you can find over here, the natural disaster originating from the Bay of Bengal with eyes in the middle. They are hitting to the hinterland of the city of the Kolkata. I think all of you remember the incidents of 20th May 2020 when the Amphan came with a speed of 160 to 180 kilometers per hour, first time in 100 years, and not only devastated the Sundarbans, but also devastated the entire hinterland of the city of the Kolkata. This is the peculiarity of the mangroves. The mangroves are just like the natural guards. They are the army. They are the natural defense, which are protecting not only the people of the Sundarbans, not only the people of the lower Gangetic Delta, but also the hinterland of the city of the Kolkata. So if we cut the mangroves, we are cutting ourselves. We are cutting our longevity. We are cutting our livelihood. We are cutting our property. We are cutting our health. So we should conserve mangrove in order to save aquaculture. I'm coming to this part because you must know the geography of Sundarbans. In Sundarbans, there are 7 estuaries. This Hooghly and this Muriganga, you can see a blue connection. It is connected with the mighty Himalayan region, where you get the fresh water of the snow melt of the Himalayan region, which are coming to Bay of Bengal. So you are getting a fresh water and a mixture of the saline water. So it is hyposaline. The salinity is less over there. But if you go to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these estuaries like the Matla, Tapuran, Harinbanga, you see there is no fresh water here. It is completely blocked by siltation since from the 15th century. And therefore there is no fresh water, and therefore everything is saline. So the entire Sundarban can be divided into 2 parts. One is the hyposaline, the low fresh water. The other is the hypersaline, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the high saline region. The same Sundarban has got 2 different phases. The phase with a low salinity, where you get different types of fishes like the hilsa fish, which is commercially very valuable and has a high export quality. The other, here you can get in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you are not getting hilsa because hilsa requires fresh water for breeding. So this is the thing. As I have told you, if you have marked this one, this is the biggest island in Indian Sundarban, known as the Sagar Island. It has an area of 336 square kilometers. Just look at this white island. This is the biggest island, the Sagar Island. You have heard of the Sagar Kapil Muni Ashram. About 10 lakhs people come over here to offer their pilgrims every year. And if you see the image of ISRO here, you can see in 2014 March, you can see how the red color represents the phytoplankton. And if there is more phytoplankton, there is more fish, because phytoplankton are the basic foundation of the food chain. They are consumed by the zooplankton, and zooplankton are again consumed by the fishes. But if you go to a different period, this is value you see in March, and if you go to November, you see it has become more red. Question arises that why the color is changing. The color is changing because the water chemistry is changing. In the March, there was no rainfall and there was no runoff. And therefore, there was no nitrogen, no phosphorus over here. But if you come to November, after the October, the rainy season is over, what happens? All the runoff comes over here in the Bay of Bengal with a lot of nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, other decomposed particles, and they fertilize the water. And then with this fertilization, the phytoplankton come into the surface. And therefore, the November is a very congenial season for the growth of various types of fishes. So this is the picture. What I have told over here, that the color of the water is green, as I've told you, the color of the water is green. But if you see in the remote sensing map, the color, it is superimposed and the color becomes red. The more the green, the more is the intensity of the red. So aquaculture is not only a study of the biological science, it is an integration of the engineering, it is an integration of the chemistry, physics, even the remote sensing, because the remote sensing things operate on the basis of the physics background. Electronics is also a compulsory subject in aquaculture. Now coming to the socio-economic condition of the Sundarbans. You see, the population of Sundarban is now 4.5 million in an area of 9635 square kilometer. The population density is great, almost just like the city of the Kolkata. And there is the only option, you have to go to the water in order to start the aquaculture. Most of the, in West Bengal, there is no hatchery of the prawn because high salinity is required. But because of the gangetic discharge, the salinity is not very high. And therefore, people, most of the ladies, women of the Sundarbans, they are taking the prawn seeds, even at the cost of their life, because tigers are there, sharks are there, crocodiles are there, but still they are catching the fish and they are supplying to the prawn farms. There is also plenty of crab. This is also one part of the aquaculture. What I have told, aquaculture is not only the culture of the fish, it is also the culture of the crab, the culture of the various seaweeds, and the culture of the phytoplankton. You see how the ladies in the Sundarbans are catching for their livelihood. But another disaster in the aquacultural sector is the rise of the carbon dioxide. Throughout the world, the carbon dioxide has increased because of the industrial revolution, because of unplanned industrialization, because of unplanned urbanization, because of unplanned tourism. Massive trees have been deforested, destructed, which could otherwise be a sink of carbon dioxide. And Sundarban is no exception to this. We have studied with a huge data bank for the last 30 years, and we have seen that in all the three seasons, pre-monsoon, monsoon, and post-monsoon, the carbon dioxide has exceeded 400 ppm. Whereas the global level, the normal level of carbon dioxide is 350 ppm. But you see, it has exceeded 400 ppm in many of the months and in all the seasons of the year. So this is the fate. When there is more carbon dioxide, you know carbon dioxide is a heavy gas. It does not allow the solar radiation to go outside. It acts as a blanket. And therefore the temperature rises. Just if you see in March, today you see on the 4th of April, you see how, on the 3rd April, how it has changed. The temperature today is 40 degrees centigrade. It is really, really a great danger for us. The global warming is taking place because the carbon dioxide has trapped the temperature, has trapped the solar radiation, and thus the temperature has increased. If you see these two graphs, you will see that the carbon dioxide is uniquely matching with the temperature. The more the carbon dioxide, the more will be the blanket effect and more will be the rise of the temperature. Now, why this rise of carbon dioxide is in Sundarbans? Is there many industries? Well, I tell no, there are not much industries in Sundarbans. But in Sundarbans, we have destroyed the land. Again, a picture of remote sensing where the application of physics is coming to the scenario. You see, these green patches are the open forest. They are the mangroves. But you see these red patches, they are the human settlements. If you see in 1990 and to 2014, just compare, these green patches has converted to settlements. So all the greens have been destroyed. As I have told you, the triangular island, the Sagar Island, the biggest island in Sundarban, it had a sandy deposition. And so many beautiful marine animals were there in 1990. But you see in 2014, what is there? All the things have been covered with big roads, with big tourism units and various aquacultural farms. So again, there is a change. We have changed the vegetation pattern. If you see the vegetation pattern in many years back, you see this triangular island, which I'm taking as a symbol of this It is the key factor. You see, it was green, but now, see, in early days it was green in color, but now you see in 2014 there is not a single green patch except one that is in Chemaguri, that is in the north and southeastern part of the island. So this is the scenario. These mangroves would have been a greatest sink of the carbon dioxide, but we have destroyed at the cost of the aquaculture. Here lies the story of the eco-friendly aquaculture. We must preserve mangrove to get a good benefit from the aquaculture, because the mangroves not only protect the banks, not only protect the soil erosion, but fertilizes the water with natural nitrogen and phosphorus coming from the leaves and the stems and the branches after the process of decomposition. This is eco-friendly aquaculture. But you see what we have done. We have destroyed mangroves. And with the soil of this excavated ponds, we have made the brick kilns. These brick kilns are again the source of the carbon dioxide emission. So this is the importance of the mangroves. I have told you, the fertilizes the water, controls erosion, protects the landmass from the natural disasters, and bioremediation, it purifies the water. And also there are mangrove-centric livelihoods, which I am coming later. Now, is there any effect of the climate change on the fish community? This is $1 million question. If you see the Salmon Species Diversity Index, of course it is a highly mathematical, but this is an index whose value increases if the productivity increases, if the biodiversity increases. This is a very, I must say that this is a very complicated equation, but it is very easy. Just only try to understand if the value of Salmon Index represented by age increases, that means the environment is better. The environment is good for the growth of the fishes and the other aquatic animals. We have seen that in the western part of the Indian Sundarbans, where there is hyposaline, the salinity is less, there you get a good commercial fishes. But on the central part, as I've told in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all those estuaries where there are no freshwater discharges, the biodiversity index is very low because of the high salinity. Is there any other effect? If you want to know the health of the fish, there is a very good index, which is known as the condition index. Suppose this is a fish. You take the fish and take its weight. So you get the weight, and then you get the length from the caudal to the mouth with the scale. This is the total length. And with the cube of the total length multiplied by 10 cube, you get the condition index. If the value of the condition index is more, then you must know that the health of the fish is also good. So this is also another index to find that whether the aquacultural species is going in the right direction, whether there are any diseases. Because if there is disease, this W will decrease, the weight will decrease. And in that case, if the numerator decreases, the K value will go down. So this is also a very powerful tool to know the health of the aquacultural system. Now we have compared with the various western sector fishes with the central sector fishes, and these are some of the case studies. I'm not going in details. The moral of the story is the central part has congenial environment for the non-commercial trash variety of fishes, which does not get much exchange of the money. But the western part is very good because you get hilsha, you get a freshwater discharge, and you get more commercial fish, and you get a more condition index and the biodiversity index value in the western part. This is a part of the research which the students can take as the ESD projects. These are very interesting features because now the engineering and the chemistry have been conglomerated, have been crystallized with other branches of the science and the biological science. So these are very interesting things. If in the midnight the oxygen goes down, then you have to go for the aerators. The aerators, the oxygen level for growing the fish is usually 5.5 to 6 milligram per liter, which we call 5.5 to 6 ppm, parts per million. So if in the night time, because of the algal growth, the oxygen goes down, you have to go for the aerator. The aerator actually bounces the water, and the oxygen from the atmosphere diffuses into the water, and the oxygen level increases. The other parameters are pH, salinity for the brackish water, surface water temperature, and nutrients. This also has to be kept in mind and has to be monitored at regular interval to get a successful aquaculture. Successful breeding increases the protein bank. This is also a very important topic, so I'm not going into details. But after the breeding is over, the aquacultural species are given the feed in the form of the dust because they are still juvenile. They are known as the ichthyoplankton. Just like the phytoplankton, they are called the ichthyoplankton, the juveniles of the fishes. And now we have developed this organic juice from the wheatgrass. You can also grow in your own home. Just it will take 15 days. Take the wheat seed and put it on the rags or any tissue paper and make it moist. After 15 days, it will grow. You see how we have grown it over a period of time within 15 days, and you can take 50 grams of this of this thing, and this you can take as a startup business. 50 grams of this mixed with the 300 milliliter water. Of course, you can scale it up, and then you can get the organic juice by mixing. This is the organic juice you can see, and this organic juice is rich in minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, which constitutes the bone of the fishes. At the same time, you are getting antioxidant. You are also getting protein, high protein over there. 33 to 40% protein is there, more than the soybean. So if this organic juice is given, then it will diffuse through the gills of the aquacultural species, and it will not only make it disease resistant, but it will also help to grow it in a substantial rate. So these are the things where our technologists, our department, the scientists of the Techno India University has done this for the last few years, and now it has been given to a larger scale. The consultancy wing has already been started. As I've told you, aquaculture does not mean only the culture of the fish. It is a wrong idea. Aquaculture means only the culture of the fish. Aquaculture means for the economic stability, the culture of the phytoplankton and the seaweeds, because from the aquaculture, we can get drugs. From the aquaculture, we can get the food supplement. From the aquaculture, we can get the biodiesel, we can get the biofertilizer, we can get the wastewater treatment procedure, and also we can get for the bioenergy production in the form of the diesels, because petroleum and the diesel cost is going higher and higher. We do not know whether it is going to touch the century. It is already 90. Within a span of 6 months, the 78 rupees has turned to 90 rupees, and it is going to touch century, maybe, I'm not sure. The economists can tell. But these are the various innovative, not untapped, still untapped resources which can also be a part of the aquaculture and the blue economy. The seaweeds, which are found under the ocean and also on the intertidal zone. They are rich in protein, 20 to 40% protein, 10 to 20% carbohydrate. There are also minerals and also the vitamins and the antioxidants. They are also used in the aquaculture. They can also be cultured. In Sundarbans, you get these 4 varieties of seaweeds. I'm not going in details, but they are also very, very costly, and they have got a very good role to play, and they have got a very good demand in the pharmaceutical industry. That's why we have started blue economy in our university, the first of its kind in India. The first kind in India, we have started blue economy. No other university in India has started this blue economy course at the postgraduate and in the PhD research level. So these are the very interesting things. If you go to any of the villages of Sundarbans, you see just like the carpet, the seaweeds are there available. They are not very scarce particles. They are not very scarce. They are available in plenty, and they are rich in protein, low in cholesterols, rich minerals, and antioxidants. But we are not using them. One of our research scholars, Dr. Prasenjit Pramanik, has made these cookies from the seaweeds, and these cookies have been found to be high in protein and antioxidants. But what is the dark side is that the marketing has not been yet done to that scale, where our Honorable Vice Chancellor has told a supply chain management is required, because otherwise this will be locked in the laboratory or in the thesis pages. We have been encouraged by CSIR, Council of Scientific Industrial Research, and this is a picture in the Lakshadweep Island, where the seaweed were distributed among the island dwellers of Lakshadweep. We have our projects in Andaman Nicobar Island. We have our projects in Lakshadweep and in various marine centers of the South Indian states. There we have distributed and we have just got the response, overwhelming response from the people. The bread has been prepared from the seaweeds. The color does not look nice and there was not very good response from the bread. But seaweed can be cultured and these are the different culture technologies. They are floated and pieces of seaweeds are tied, and after a period of 9 months, it grows and it becomes a bulk in tons. About 3 to 5 tons of the seaweeds per hectare can yield about 25 tons per hectare, just 5 times increase within a period of 9 months. So these are the different protein and the antioxidant, but I'm not going in details because it is a keynote species. Oysters. If you go to 5-star and 3-star hotels, you get the oyster soup. So these are the oysters. You see the inner flesh is low cholesterol and high protein and high mineral contents with calcium. Calcium, you see the outer shell is made up of calcium, which is used to cure arthritis. The tablet you are getting in the pharmaceutical industry is known as a shell caul. The shell caul is prepared from the shell of this calcareous molluscan species, the oysters. The oyster culture also comes under aquaculture. And there are 3 varieties of oysters in India, Sundarbans, in Bay of Bengal. And they are available in plenty. And there are also technologies like the on-bottom technology where you can hang the oyster cages and also the rack and tray culture. These technologies are available. If you go to Digha, if you go to Mandarboni, if you go to Shankarpur, I think you have gone over there. If you go to the landing stations, on the pillar you will see all the oysters are there available naturally. These are the oysters populations. You see some of the scholars are counting their populations and calculating how much chemical constituents are present in the oyster shells and in the oyster flesh. So this type of researches are going on and they are very interesting and can be tagged with your area of interest, with your own core area as an ESG projects. So these are some of the interesting things where you can get into and you can, certainly I believe that you can jump into a good business in future. If you go to Sundarban areas, you get this type of very pinkish varieties of the pink varieties of the carpet. The name of the species is Soida. You will be surprised to know that one of our scholars from Techno India University has made samosa and kachori from this soida. And this has been accepted by Haldiram. We have published so many manuals and articles, and if you are interested, you can have a one-to-one talk so that we can help you in this type of non-conventional untapped business in future. This is actually the gateway of blue economy. I don't know whether you have seen it or not. This is known as the horseshoe crab. In the secondary school or in the Madhyamik, you have seen that they are known as the living fossil. They are called the horseshoe crab and they are known as the limulus. You know, this is also coming under the aquaculture because it has got a good role in the pharmaceutical industry. If you see the view in a very close way, you see the heart lies over here. There is the heart of the species. If you take the blood of this, it is blue in color because this animal does not have the hemoglobin. Their blood is not red like us. Their blood is made up of copper pigment hemocyanate. This blood, from this blood, some chemicals have been extracted by the scientists which can tell you the last date, the expiry date of any medicine. Because if you take say paracetamol or any antacid, it has got an expiry date. If you take those medicines which has crossed the expiry date, it can harm your body. Why? Because the expiry date means it has been attacked by some gram-negative bacteria. And if you take 1 drop of this blood, blue blood, in that tablet or in any medicine or in any injections which has crossed the expiry date, immediately a white clotting will be formed, showing that this drug has crossed the expiry date. And this blue blood can only detect the expiry date of the medicines. And therefore, scientists throughout the world, they have developed, you see the blue blood they have developed, and they have got a very good demand in all the pharmaceutical industries. Even the culture of this species, the name of the species is Limulus or Carcinoscorpias or Tachypleas. 3 types of species are there throughout the world. In the secondary school, you have heard about the limulus, but there are 2 more species. One is the Carcinoscorpias, other is the Tachypleas. So these species are also very important, and their culture is also coming under the aquaculture. I think this is enough for you. So I like to end with the end statement that aquaculture is not only the culture of the fishes, it includes the culture of the crabs, the culture of the horseshoe crabs, the culture of the phytoplankton, the culture of the seaweeds, the culture of the other varieties of the oysters and various types of animals. Even the octopus culture, even the loligo, even the different types of marine animals culture which have got an edible value and pharmaceutical values comes under the aquaculture. So with this, I end my speech. I think it is. I think that it might give you some food so that you can think on this very lucrative topics and on this very lucrative venture, and you can think it as for your business in future. With this, I thank all of you and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Mitra, for your wonderful and enriching speech. I believe our audience has now gained some new entrepreneurship insights on this subject so that they can use this to flourish their business in future. So before opening the session for question and answer, it's time to watch a small film on the unique and taxonomically diverse mangrove ecosystem of the Indian Sundarbans, a hub of aquaculture and pisciculture lying at the apex of the mighty Bay of Bengal. Our beloved HOD of Department of Oceanography, Professor Dr. Sufia Zaman, has kindly lent her voice for this short educational video. I would like to request Dr. Prashanjit Pramanik again to kindly play the video clip. Over to you, Dr. Pramanik. I think the audio is missing, Pramanik. Yeah. Can you just play it from the beginning with the audio at full volume?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you so much for sharing the video with us. So it's now time for the question and answer session. So we would take some of the pertinent questions posted in the Q&A box or the chat box and request our speaker to address them. So let's check if there are any questions for the speaker. So we have one question. Shahil Shah is asking, is seaweed vegetarian? I mean, you know, for vegetarian people, can it be consumed, I think?
It is 100% vegetarian. It's an interesting question. It is 100% vegetarian because they are just like the grasses under the ocean or on the intertidal belt. So definitely it's a good question and it is 100% vegetarian.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I don't see any other questions. So I would encourage everybody to post questions. Maybe we can have 5 more minutes to answer those questions. But if there are none, then I have a question, sir. So since we're talking about creating entrepreneurship skills and helping startup people, for the business. So how much capital one should aim for before starting any of such business in a small scale, like maybe in their house or, with a small group of people?
Well, it's a good question, but it depends that what species you are going to culture. If you are going to culture the prawn, which has got a very good demand, then 1 hectare of prawn will require at least an expenditure of 5 to 8 lakhs, depending on the aerators and the designing of the plants, where the engineers are there because they will have to make a sluice gate, then they have to channelize the seawater and go to the different, and if there is a if there is a provision of the biofiltration, the controlling the toxic, then it can go and hike the expenditure can hike up to 10 lakhs also. But 5 to 8 lakhs is the costing for the prawn culture. For seaweed culture, there is no costing has been done in India. And for horseshoe crab, you have to buy it from the fishermen who are going for the fishing in the digga. You have to make a small enclosure where you can put them and they will automatically breed. There you need only 2 to 3 lakhs to start the culture of the horseshoe crabs.
Okay, sir. So it varies on a case-to-case basis, I guess.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. So we have one question from Dr. Pramanik. He's asking, can phytoplankton can be used as a food supplement without any refinement?
Actually not, because phytoplankton, they absorb all the toxic substances, whether it is heavy metals or diesel or hydrocarbons from the seawater. So it needs refinement, and that is by the reverse osmosis. You have to put the phytoplankton in the fresh water, and then all the toxic substances will go out and the fresh water will go inside the body of the phytoplankton. So reverse osmosis is the only phenomenon. Directly we cannot consume the phytoplankton.
Okay, sir. So he has another question. Can marine fishes be cultured in vitro, for example, Hilsa species, as they have osmoregulatory issues?
Culturing has already been initiated by some of the leading central government research center like CIBA, Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture at Kakdeep. But whatever I have seen, I have not seen very prosperity and very success rate. They have started the culture. The results are not very encouraging.
Okay, sir. One more question from him. Can we prepare the wheatgrass juice at home? What materials are required for the preparation?
Yes, definitely we can prepare. It can be a small type of hobby or a small type of the startup business. You only require some very good quality wheat seeds, and then you require some moist rags, some trays where you can put the trays in a moist condition, and some auto sprinkler, or you can put with the help of the manual, you can sprinkle 2 or 3 times per day so that it remains moist, and after 15 days you will see the sprouting. It can be done in the home.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So from one question from Vishal Shaha, what is the scientific name of the seaweed species that you have shown, I think?
I have shown 4 types of seaweed species. The scientific name is Enteromorpha intestinalis, Enteromorpha compressa, Catenella repens, and Caloglossa. But the first one, the green color with the intestine-like structures, they are the only seaweeds available in plenty in the Sundarban areas. The name is Enteromorpha intestinalis. It looks like the intestine, the gastric pipes. That's why the name is like that, Enteromorpha intestinalis.
Okay, thank you, sir. One question from an anonymous attendee. He's asking, as we can see the increasing intensity of disasters like cyclones, about how much time it might take at present rate to counter the damage if we plant mangroves each day?
It's a really a tough question, which is also a matter of concern for the policymakers of Sundarbans also. A mangrove to usually take 6 to 8 years to take its maturity, to have a grown-up size. So 6 to 8 years, if you start from this day at the 0 day, from the from the 3rd of the April, 2021. I think on 3rd April 2026 or 27, you can have a good stand of mangroves. So 6 years is minimum required so that it can defend against this cyclonic disaster. Thank you.
So we should act right now.
Yes, this is the time.
So one more question for you, sir. Phytoplankton and zooplanktons, which have, out of these two, which have more nutritional value?
Definitely phytoplankton has got more nutritional value because vegetables, they are in the first tier of the food chain and they absorb all the minerals, they absorb all the energies, they have the maximum protein. But when it is consumed by the zooplankton, as per the Linzmann's law of 10% law, in every tier there is a loss of the energy. So phytoplankton is more nutritious compared to the zooplankton.
Okay, sir. So thank you so much. I don't see any other question. So, sir, should we wait for a few more questions or should we conclude here?
So I think it is 6 and it is time for conclusion. If there is no more question, we can go to the next agenda.
There is one more question. Can you just take that last question? So can these practices be done in small water bodies like ponds with the help of technological advancements?
Please, can you repeat?
So Aisha is asking, can these practices be done in small water bodies like ponds with the help of technological advancements?
Definitely, definitely. Biofloc has come into the scenario. In a small tank, it can be easily done. Even in your garage, in your rooftop, it can be definitely done. Even in Techno India University, in a rooftop, where in a 10 feet, 5 feet, and 3 feet height, we have successfully done the tilapia culture. It can be definitely done in the household.
Okay, sir. So one last question: extraction of blue blood from horseshoe crab, does it affect the species?
Yes, definitely. If anybody extracts blood from me, I will be weak, I will be affected. But still every year we are going for the blood donation because 10% of the blood, if it is taken from our body, it does not make any harm. Rather, it is good for the health because excess of the blood can create a blood pressure. So blood donation is also very good. In that case, we have to see that not more than 10% of the blood should be sucked from the body. Otherwise, if it is more than 10, it when 15 or 20 for the benefit or for the profit for a short-term basis, it can harm the species. We should be limited to 10%. For example, if the animal has a body weight of 450 grams, we should not take more than 45 cc of blood from that particular horseshoe crab. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. So thank you so much for patiently answering all the questions and for your time. So,
Thank you.
So we will end the session here. So we will reconvene in this same platform, Zoom platform, tomorrow at 5 p.m. sharp to listen to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Debojyoti Chakraborty, HOD of Department of Zoology, Shingur Government College, who will be talking on ornamental fish culture. Thank you, dear participants, for registering and attending this webinar, and everyone for your cooperation and patience hearing. We expect your sincere participation for the rest of the sessions as well. Good night and stay healthy and safe. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all.